Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to see an interesting game that was featured at the London Chess Classics 2016. The game was played between the two top grandmasters, Fabiano Caruana with the white pieces against Hikaru Nakamura. So let's look at the game. Here Caruana plays e4 and Nakamura plays c5. So we have the Sicilian defense. So the game continues knight to f3, d6, d4, c into d, knight into d, knight to f6, knight c3, and here we have a6. This is the knight drop variation of the Sicilian. It is one of the sharpest of all the openings. Here, with this opening, each move counts, unlike in the Royal Opus, where a slow move can be considered. But in knight drop, one mistake can cost the game quite early in the opening. Here, the game continued with bishop to g5, e6, f4. Here h6 was played, an important move here. After bishop to h4, queen to b6 was played. This is the delayed poison pawn variation where black tries to avoid most of white's ideas, but to white's disposal, white has a move a3. Here, after a3, Nakamura plays queen to b2. Just kidding, as this move traps the baby quite early at b2 with knight to a4. So that cannot be played. Here, after a3, knight b to d7 was played. After that, Caruana plays bishop to f2. Here, it justifies the move of bishop going to g5 and coming back to f2 via h4 in the process of trying to harass the queen at b6. Here, black plays queen to c7, after which Caruana plays queen to f3, preparing queenside castling. Bishop to e7 was played, and after castling, black plays b5. After b5, white plays g4. He starts the kingside attack. Here, after g5, black plays b4. This is somewhat the preparation of Nakamura, which can be justified or will be explained later. As you will see, what is happening here is very interesting, because after pawn into pawn, Nakamura plays a line which is a direct move, trying to control the e5 square by playing g5. All of this was seen before, but here Nakamura was prepared with some lines. Let's look at the game. After g5, Caruana plays a bizarre looking move which pretty much refutes black's g5 idea by playing bishop to e2. He connects both the rooks and turning g5 into a nasty threat. After bishop to e2 and pawn into pawn, Caruana plays h4. After h4, here Nakamura plays knight to e5, and after queen into f4, here everything is pretty much forced, which will explain the move b4 that was played by Nakamura, because here after knight into pawn, bishop into pawn, Nakamura would have played e5. Here, this is a very interesting move because it attacks both the pieces on d4 and f4. But if you look at the position here, black is down a piece already. So here, Nakamura must have considered that a move like knight to d5 will be played, after which knight would have been captured and the queen is still under attack. So the queen has to come to f3, after which Nakamura would have played the interesting move knight to b4. Here, this was the preparation that Nakamura must have brought during the game. But here, After e5, Caruana plays a spectacular looking queen sack, queen into f6, which definitely must not come as a surprise to Nakamura, as you will see, because after bishop into queen, knight goes to d5. Here black plays queen to d8. Here this is the very interesting position. Here Nakamura probably did not consider the move that Caruana just played, because he played knight to f5. Here Caruana must have realized that he had run his head first into a lost position. Here a move like bishop into f5 and bishop into f5, it just shows that the unassailable knight on d5 and the bishop on f5 dominates the board. In particular, black's extra queen has no move whatsoever. However, this was not played during the game. Here after knight to f5, let's go back to the position. Here after knight to f5, black plays rook to b8. This move is losing on the spot, but under the circumstances black has nothing better. However, after the previous variation that was showed, this is still holding. It seems to be holding the position. After rook to b8, Caruana plays knight into f6, and after queen into f6, Caruana plays rook into d6. Here knight into d6 was probably the better move, but here this does not spoil the position. Here Caruana plays rook d6, Nakamura plays bishop to e6. After this move, Caruana plays rook h to d1. Here a better move was bishop to e3, which was quite stronger. But here after connecting the two rooks on the d file, Nakamura must have realized that it is time to castle. After castling, Caruana played a very dangerous looking move. Can you pause the video and think about the move? Here Caruana plays h5. This is a very deadly move. This move is somewhat more to the point, as the threat of bishop going to h4 will either nap the queen or force the queen to sit back at a pathetic h8 square. Here the bishop going to h4 is a very dangerous threat. So here Nakamura plays queen to g5. Initially it might seem very stupid, but here after bishop to e3, this shows a move. Why this shows that why Caruana had to play this, as Nakamura was provoking the bishop already to come to e3 and to avoid the threats of h4. Here Nakamura goes to queen to f6. After queen to f6, knight to h6 was played. So all in all, the only issue with this provoking was that white grabs a pawn. So here after knight h6 check, king to h8 was played. After king to h8, Nakamura plays. After king to h8, Caruana plays bishop to f5. This is a very fine looking move. After which Nakamura plays queen to e7. This one looks immediately losing as the game continued. Here, before I try to show you the move that was played by Caruana, can you pause the video and think what can be played here? Here, immediately knight into h7 must be considered. Yes, that is a good move, but Caruana had a deep thought about the position. He played a move b5. This move is very interesting, as we'll see what happens here, because here after, suppose a into b, white would have played knight to f7. After rook to f7 and rook to e6, queen comes to b4. Here the blockade was made. Here there is no longer a threat of b2. This is the idea. And in the other case, if instead of a into b, if rook into b was played, then you can see, like in the previous variation, there is back rank weakness. So here, after b5, Nakamura plays queen to e8. This is immediately losing because of this move, because knight into f7, rook into f7, and rook into e6, and after queen into b5, you no longer have a threat of queen to e1 mate, because the queen has to come to f1. So here, after queen to b5, Caruana plays rook to h6. Here, after rook to h6, Nakamura resigns. He resigns in view of this variation, because after king to h8 and rook to g1 check, and rook and king to f8 and rook to h8 and king to e7, there is only this forced variation where the bishop c5 check wins the black queen or mates the black queen on the next move. So I hope you liked this game, and that's the game for you. Let me know in the comment section below if you consider to play this line yourself. And for now, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, as we will visit more games like this together. And bye for now. Good luck with your chess.